This is HR Service Unscripted.
I'm like, curveball.
We are the HR Service Unscripted, right? I'm Dean, here with Nikki
Hello.
and Dr. Liz.
Hello.
All right, and today is kind of a shortened edition, just two time constraints we've all had today. We're going to jump into our great topic, train or term. HR asks, correct? And kind
Yes.
of, do we have a juicy one today?
This one's pretty juicy.
Okay.
I'll dive right in. So this came from someone who co-manages a large manufacturing team along with their counterpart. She says, one of our staff members requested time off for an unexpected medical leave, which started immediately. I discussed scheduling updates with the other co-manager, and we also spoke with the team to see who could fill in with such short notice. I may have also let it slip that not only was the leave medical, but urgent due to the sensitivity. Between us, it was between me and the question asker and everyone who's listening right now today, it was rehab for alcoholism. This employee is well liked, and we all anxiously awaited her return. We warmly welcomed her back, and when she was well enough. It was no secret that something personal was going on leading up to the absence, and many other staff had previously speculated about her sobriety before this leave. She returned a few days ago, and she's a brand new person, thriving, looks well, performing at a capacity we've never seen before. But she pulled me aside this morning to question why I told everyone she was in rehab.
Oh,
I told her people figured it out, and she became enraged. She then reported me to HR for breach of confidentiality. And when they questioned me, they said that expectations for managers are that they maintain the medical confidentiality of their direct reports. They said they'll be back in touch after further investigation. Am I about to get fired?
that is a good one.
Now,
So I
did I
think
miss? Oh, sorry, doctor. Did I miss? She didn't actually tell anybody, though, correct? Everyone found out on their own.
She said what did she say? I may have let it slip.
that it was a
Let it
sensitive
slip.
nature. Or did she let it slip?
I may have also let it slip that not only was the leave medical, but also urgent due to the sensitivity.
Yeah.
Okay. See,
So
and
she
I
didn't
was taking
actually
notes as you're
say it.
writing.
Yeah, just urgently needs to leave. And I think everyone kind of like knew.
That's what it sounds like. It legit was just everybody figured it out based on the fact she was behaving in a way that was indicative of somebody who is not sober.
Mhm.
And
Okay.
then
On this note, let me tell you a story. Okay. Story time from Dean. I have a very good friend who had this exact same scenario happen to him. Actually, he was the one that went to rehab. So
Mhm.
he was working remotely of all things, and business was slow, and he got bored and would have a little drink once in a while just to calm nerves, blah, blah. One drink turned into many. Then after a few months of that, it turned out just to drinking a full bottle of vodka during a shift, kind of blacking out, not remembering to work or go to work when not supposed to, that type of deal. So his company has a great policy that helped him. He went to his boss and asked for help, said, "Hey, this is what's going on. I really need help. It's destroying my life." And they said, "You know what? We're going to put you in rehab. Boom. We'll hold your position, get better. We'll see you when you get back." So he did it, came back as a new person, no longer drinking. Fabulous. His life literally changed around in such a better, he's in a happy place. Boss was in a good spot. Well, boss didn't tell anyone. HR didn't tell anybody. Owner didn't tell anybody. That was the chain that knew of what was going on.
Mhm.
Everybody just knew just through, and even though he was remote, they knew because of team calls or actions he did, just things that he did, everyone around him knew, and his circle knew. And of course, his circle told other circles and other circles. So the company knew why he went. And if they asked him, he was more than honest that, yes, I had this issue, but rehab, I'm better now. So is that something that happened where everybody probably already knew of the issue, especially if they're in house and they see a person they know? I mean, we've all been in that scenario before.
And it makes sense. We even see similar situations occur with investigations, and we should be advising when we're having the investigation, we'll keep it to an as need to know. We can't keep it totally confidential. But in the course of the investigation, people may just figure out what's going on
If they're paying attention.
if they're paying attention. We can't
Yeah.
help that people use deductive reasoning. It's
Mhm.
human nature.
I was thinking that, we don't know what happened previous, if there was any kind of reasonable suspicion documentation that had happened before. It does say manufacturing, so I'm wondering if there were any performance issues that needed to be addressed due to what was going on beforehand. And I mean, okay, if your coworker even just witnesses that, they're gonna they're gonna know what's going on. It's like once you know what you're looking for, it's very hard to unsee it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Then was this person showing up to work maybe after a nice bender and had the smell and the actions of someone who may have partaken a little too much? I mean, it's
The so in retrospect now, I actually had two managers uh in my history who turned out to be alcoholic, what I suspect was. And this may be just them and not like all alcoholics, I don't know. But they would like talk about it all the time, like how they went out partying, they were out all weekend. One of them would always come in with like ripped clothes, and oh, I don't know how that happened. I was wearing it after work on Friday. Um, so like it's also like in the conversation, like you're just hearing it, and then all of a sudden they go away for a month, and you're like, okay, okay, that makes a lot of sense.
and they come back all nice, pressed and cleaned and proper again, and you're just like, oh, what happened?
Looking well, right?
And someone you work with closely will ask you what happened, and they will, like my friend, will just blatantly say, "Hey, this is what happened. This is what I
Mhm.
did. I'm better now." Then that person tells the other person, "Oh, why'd you talk to, whatever your name may be?"
Mhm. It seems to me that this person felt the information would not be shared because they said it says that she became enraged. I told her people figured it out and she became enraged.
Yeah, that's an interesting piece too.
Hmm. Interesting choice of words.
Yeah, exactly. Well, hopefully the HR, when they're doing their investigation, they do a proper investigation and talk to everybody they believe was involved to get the real story. I
I think
wouldn't be
that's what
demanding.
the investigation is. I think it's asking
Yeah.
everyone else who like what or
Yeah.
who said it to the directly to the employee, maybe.
And
Yeah,
where
I
she
think,
did admit she let it slip, I mean, it wasn't an egregious mistake. It was just, medical and
Urgent.
didn't give out any specifics. Yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
I think that was appropriate to share with the co-manager because she didn't get into the
Um,
details.
the conversation was had on the floor, so it wasn't
So,
entirely
oh, so somebody could have overheard. Very
right.
interesting.
So, I mean, for me, after I read the question, I obviously I don't like to tell you guys what my assessment is, but I immediately thought train, like, you should have had that conversation in private. But I
Yeah.
do think it's also fair to tell the other employees, like, can you work tomorrow? Because the person who was supposed to be here can't.
And I think it's train on both fronts. You're training the manager. This should be a private conversation, not an on the floor conversation, but you're also training the employee in appropriate workplace behavior. I understand that you're upset. This is personal information, but one, let's consider the situation. Nothing was shared. Your own behavior is what caused the deduction. And people are going to come up with their own assumptions, and that doesn't give you license to go and yell at your manager. I'm training both of them.
Go yell, go yell. Would you ever? I just love that. Like, what? And I don't believe in the whole like, oh, it's a hierarchy and you have to be respectful. But you should be respectful to everyone. Like, but under no
Yeah.
circumstance, I wouldn't go in and yell at anybody at work, except for what I was just joking about how I did yell at Liz. I didn't yell. I was just angry.
But the constructive conversations are important. Having those honest conversations are important, and being respectful in those
Mhm.
conversations, regardless who it is
Mhm.
important. So the employee needs to understand that when she's approaching other people, whether it's her boss or not, she needs to be doing so in a constructive, respectful manner.
I mean, I think also if we go back to the conversation that you and I had, it was more like I was telling you like how I was just airing how I felt. Like you did this and it made me feel this way. And I think that was where the why it became constructive and a good conversation to
Hmm.
have because I don't want to keep beating a dead horse. You wronged me, Liz. You didn't wrong me. You did the right thing for yourself at the time. And I completely understand. But I'm so glad that we had that conversation because then we were able to move forward from it and still work together very effectively. Now, who are we HR in this position? So we have to train the manager on discretion, which is not a great look. And then we also have to talk to the employee, you know, but then that doesn't help the relationship between the two of them.
Well, and here's another variable I'm going to throw at you. And just to the story I told, when my friend went back to work, he actually got put on a performance plan. Just, well, one, you were drinking on the job.
Yeah, all right, fair.
And even this person, we don't know if is on the job or coming to the work, still maybe possibly drunk or still hungover. You never know. There could be a performance plan involved with that as well, because we could use some more information on why everybody on the floor knew or hadn't known. Anyway, that'll come with the
Mhm.
investigation, I hope, so this person could get written up as well. But I'm
That's a
on
good
train
point.
both. Yeah.
That's a very good point. Why did they know? Was she or he behaving in certain manners? Were they intoxicated on the workplace?
You mean for the person for the question?
Hmm.
Because it's a manufacturing environment, I'm wondering if the coworkers were sometimes stepping in and being like, let me do this for you
Hmm.
because a safety issue was starting to arise.
Could be.
And you're working next to somebody, you could smell something.
Yeah.
Or just their actions. They may have, yeah, the agility may not have been there to run machinery, depending what they're manufacturing. So yeah, but I have two trains and maybe a improvement plan for the employee that had the outburst.
I agree.
Yeah. And I get like the embarrassment because it's still a very sensitive subject, but I kind of wish that the employee had looked at it objectively to be like, no, you were unwell enough to need to have inpatient treatment. So clear, you were at rock bottom. And I feel like it's kind of part of their recovery where it's like you actually have to admit that you have wrongdoing and people are going to realize it and you shouldn't be embarrassed about it and you should take the shame away.
And then additional spin, they should be happy. I'm sure there's something in the policy that says, hey, you can't be doing this at work. You could just be termed. They could have just cut their losses and let this person walk.
Yeah. I hate to always throw that in, but like, yes, they're
Well,
outside of,
it's just realistic though.
yeah, yes, people can, yes, you can be terminated for any reason at any time for anything other than discriminatory reason.
Exactly.
And I don't like to fall back on it because like bad employers fall back on it sometimes just to like because I can fire anybody I want. Yes, you can fire anybody you want, but like
You
let's
can,
be
yes.
adults.
And
But
I don't
should
believe
you?
alcoholism is a protected class.
No, but if they're going to get treatment, they can't be punished for going to get treatment.
Exactly. Exactly.
But if they show up drunk at work, they can be disciplined for that.
Exactly. Well, in my past, mind you, I've ran production facilities. We've had employees show up drunk. And one employee was given the choice, you know what, you've been here a long time. We understand one instance, a lot of things going on in life. We'll Uber you home, or this person decided, no, I don't want an Uber, I'm gonna try to drive. Well, in that scenario, we had to call the police because we can't let someone drive home intoxicated.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So you're like, okay, now you have a record because you decided you wanted to drive home.
My goodness.
Yeah, so it was a very interesting scenario. That's a topic for another day because that was a lot more than what I just described.
That was a good question.
That was a good question.
Next week the question is related to workplace violence or threats.
Oh,
Maybe a juicy one.
can we do it now?
Um, I didn't read through it yet to make sure that there was no profanity or anything else going on.
Oh, okay. Okay. I was just, it sounded very exciting. So I wanted to get right to it, but we could do it next week.
Thank you
Can
for
do
the
it next week.
enthusiasm, though. I love it.
I know.
All right,
Okay,
putting
do
that
we
on
want
the
to try to
board.
hit a topic quick? Like, do we have time? That's the hard part about today is everything is a time constraints.
Wait, did you have top 10 or maybe could we do top three?
We do have a must-have for 2026 for human resources. We could cut a top 10 into a top three,
Yeah, like
or you
Steve
could read
Harvey.
your top three out of the top 10. I don't know what's going to be.
Tell us number one. What is the number? Is
Well,
it trending topic or issues?
some of them are. Actually, most of them should be. But the number one topic that I found was an AI integration and strategy with that.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry, but I'm so sick of the word AI. I can't take it anymore.
I have benefited from the use of AI. I love using AI. It makes my life a lot easier. But even I'm tired of every webinar is AI, AI, AI.
Mhm.
I got AI fatigue.
It is the hot topic, hot keyword of the year. Everybody wants AI. People that still aren't using it need to use it. Those of us that are using it are trying to define and how to use it even better. I mean,
Mhm.
I've enhanced mine so much that it's kind of getting scary, and it works out okay. But then I think companies need to have a strategy. How many companies
Mhm.
are using it and what are they using it for?
Yes. I agree with the parameters that they're starting to put around AI in
Mhm.
terms of making sure that it's not discriminating against applicants for employment accidentally. I appreciate that. Like I'd like to see just more of a focus on like ethical use of it. I don't have a problem with it. I like it. It makes my life easier. I've enjoyed it like in my personal life of like joking, but also using it for different items that I need. Like I'm using it at work and at home. But like stay with the ethics of it and like let's be human again. Sorry.
Exactly. Well, didn't last week or last time we talked about, well, I brought up the No Robot Bosses Act. Was that on this
Yes,
call?
I think it was.
It
Yeah,
was
so that actually went out of the House into the Senate to
nice.
see if they want to approve that. So that could be happening too. So we'll have to watch to see if you're integrating AI, how are you doing it? Are you keeping it so it is still watched by a human, by an actual person?
Hmm.
Because AI is used in so many things that people have no idea what it's being used for.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So it's amazing. AI is in everything.
I'm a dork, so I'm on Reddit. And I recently started following a subreddit called Is This AI? And it's just pictures,
Oh yeah, yeah.
that someone will post and be like this, and then everybody else picks it apart to say whether it is or it isn't. And then they give the different reasons. And recently someone commented, every time we do this, we are improving AI's capabilities by telling them what's wrong. And that part kind of scares me only because you could have like I mean, they're very realistic looking pictures. So I do find that a little bit frightening. And that's why I say that I think we need to focus more on the ethical use of it. And I think AI probably has amazing capabilities that we haven't even dreamed of yet. But if everyone could like not be a scheming criminal, that would be ideal.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if y'all saw in the news the current scrutiny that Grok is under. The Grok, I don't
Oh
know if I'm
yeah.
saying right, about the it's creating nude pictures of women and children.
Oh.
So it's coming under fire for doing so, and they're starting to put in restrictions around it to limit the ability to do that in certain states where it's laws. But it really shouldn't be based on laws. I mean, that's just wrong. Because ethically, that is not the right thing to do.
With a lot of people who are reactive and not proactive, and that's just kind of our society nowadays.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, I'm
I
going to
mean, I
stop
guess I
beating
don't
up
care if they
AI.
slap my face on some hot body. Like, whatever. I know what my body looks like.
Okay, don't say that because if you get an email with that, you're going to scream.
Well, I'll know if it's right or wrong. I'm like, listen, you're being very flattering right now. I'm just going to tell you
Oh,
that.
geez.
It's not.
No, no, no. No one, whoever listens to this, do that. No. Okay. I'm going to number two. We're going to drop that now. So the number two must have for 2026 in HR is a skill-based hiring and organizational design.
Yes,
So
agreed.
essentially, skills first talent frameworks, matching people to roles based on competency. God, I can't even speak now, and potential.
I mean, isn't that what we've always been doing?
Well, some of us have, but there are a lot of people who don't. A lot of people will just take a resume and run. This resume looks fabulous. Put them in a spot, whether they fit or not. You have a cool degree. Let's do it.
Oh, if they went to like fancy school or, took some kind of a
Huh?
furthering education or something like that.
That's
And
I have
I
a
have
good
the right
friend
last
who went to
name.
Harvard. Yes.
Hmm.
My good friend went to Harvard, but he played hockey there and has a degree in physical education. And so many people want to give him a job because he has this degree in Harvard.
Hmm. Is he a big dumb idiot? What are you saying?
No, no, he's a great guy, but mind you, he is a coach now. He does not want to go teach at a big legal firm by any means. He does not want to work there. He wants to just coach some hot kids in school and make them better.
Mhm.
But yeah, when
and
he first came out, mind you, this was many years ago. So when the degree first came out, he would send his resume and they'd bring him in for for interviews just because, oh, you're a Harvard graduate. Great. Da, da, da. And he's like, yeah, well, not that kind of Harvard graduate.
I've experienced similar where recruiters will reach out to me on LinkedIn just because of the PhD, and it's positions that I would have no interest in, have nothing to do with my background, or are clearly above my level based on my work history, or even clearly underneath my level based on my work history. And it's just like you're just seeing the degree and trying to make a match where there's not a match.
Exactly.
I feel like it's so short-sighted. Why waste your time on that? Where you're trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. You need to hire for what the role is.
Hmm.
And how many years have we just spent, building on culture? The keywords were culture, the hot topics, culture, culture, culture.
Mhm.
And you just can't do that if you're trying to develop a culture. Or what kind of culture you're trying to develop, I guess that one's into.
One that looks good on paper only. Good luck to you.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Do you guys have a meeting after this?
I do not.
I'm free.
Okay, so we can go a little bit long.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, okay. Well, I'm jump to number three. Number three, personalized learning and career pathing.
I think I'd hate to say it. I think that's very important for the younger generations. They are looking for it. They want it. They do not feel fulfilled without it.
Agree. You even see a lot of it in the millennials that they want that personalized attention. I want my tailored career plans. And as a millennial, I'd say that is true. That holds up. That is something I want. I want lots of attention and I want to be able to have that focused on my development. What does my role look like 2 years from now, 3 years from now, 10 years from now?
I see sometimes I'm just so fully Gen X because I'm just like, I would prefer if nobody even knows my name. Don't look at me. Don't pay attention to me. I want to do my stuff. And that's it.
Same X range, and I agree. It has been a learning curve. I spent many, many months trying to learn about the different uh, letters that are coming up and what they do and what motivates them, and having the career path. We have some that don't care; they just want a job that pays $100,000 a year and work 5 hours a week, that type of deal. Now you want someone. I need a career path. I need explicit examples of how to do my job, A, B, C to D. If you can't do that to me, then I can't work.
But do you
Nick,
think it's age-based? Because I feel like Liz, you're still, kind of young, and it's like I'm still growing. I still want to make more money. I mean, I still want to make more money too, but I'm not going to do it like at the detriment of the time I want to spend away from work.
and I think too, like even you do see it definitely with the age gaps. Like for example, I think a couple of years ago I brought up the idea of 360s and on our team, and it had mixed reviews, and you could kind of see where certain people of
Mhm.
different ages were like, no, I don't need that. I know what I know. I'm where I'm at.
I know.
And other people were like, yeah, that's great. And it was definitely a little age banded there.
I thought that was more my personality because I was like, if one of you wants to tell me what you think of me, you call me and you say it to my face.
Yeah, yeah.
But in a
Well, I
less
see this
threatening
running.
manner.
Well, I see this the career pathing running into a couple of clients that I have. They have younger employees who's like, okay, well, how do I move up? We have some, and there's a nice mixture. There's some people that are aging out, ready to retire, that are totally set in what they're doing, trying to give the information to the younger generation or just another employee to cover their spot when they actually leave in a few months. And the person like, well, I want a career goal. I'm gonna take over this spot. Where can I go from here? I want to know from blah 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 blah.
Mhm.
And some companies are set up you can do that, and others aren't. I have a small company that just when they can't do it, they don't have enough spots for one.
Right.
You're a company of 10 and one leaves, and you cover that one spot, but where do you go until there's no
Mhm.
movement until people either quit or retire?
It's just so flat. There's not
Yeah,
anything.
exactly.
And that's where it's up to the employer to get creative. I mean, I've always brought forth the attitude that you could shape your own role, shape your role into something you want to do. And the employers now are having to do that more for the talent that's coming in, that they're having to kind of shape and tailor each individual employee's role to what their skills and strengths are.
I'm trying to
Exactly.
think back on
Exactly.
like how I felt when I was in my mid 20s, and I would have liked that because the company that I was in was really structured and it was just like we were all just robots. You do this function, you do this function, and there was not a lot of like cross training or ability to like use my talents. And that's why I left because I was like, you people have no idea what I'm actually capable of, and I'm just going to be stuck in this like role that it was not enjoyable. It was boring. shit. So it's like
Yeah,
they lost, I feel like, good talent. Not to say I'm like amazing, but and not you're losing talent because it's like if you're not fitting people to do what they're really good at, if they're good at it, then they enjoy it and they're good at it, they can do so much for your company.
agreed, agreed. I was spoiled. I had a fabulous mentor in my mid to late 20s who guided me and took care of me, put her under her wing, and I learned so much, and it was amazing. But not everybody has that. Very few actually have that nowadays.
Mhm.
Now I'm mentoring one person now, and he's a little sassy. He wants to be mentored, but then he doesn't. It's like, okay, well, I can try to sculpt you in a way. This is how you're going to succeed. But if you want to go be a little rebel, that's fine too. You'll learn either way.
The hard way or with the support.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I'm trying to teach you the mistakes I made so you don't have to make them. And it makes life
Mhm.
so much easier.
Gonna make his whole own set of mistakes. It's like when, you have kids and they have kids. They're not gonna make the same mistakes you made. They're gonna make a all different set.
Exactly, exactly. And if they learn from them, that's fine. As long as you don't hurt anybody
Mhm.
or yourself. All right, there was our top three.
What was it again? AI, which everyone's tired of.
Yeah. AI integration and strategy, skill-based hiring and organizational design, and personalized learning and career pathing.
I think those are a good three. I
Those are a
mean,
good three.
two and three, I think we really need to focus on.
And I think it's at the benefit of the businesses to focus on those because I mean it's one thing. Yes, we want to make employees happy. We want to keep them to stay. But when you have happy employees who want to stay, you get better productivity. You get better results.
They're
So it
excited to come to work in the morning.
mhm.
Agreed.
And they're
Agreed.
more likely to come to work in the morning.
Right, they'll show up. What was number four? I'm
And
just curious. I don't know if we have time for it. Oh,
no, we did
did you have something
not.
else to say?
So number four is employee experience and well-being based on mental health, burnout prevention, holistic wellness.
I must be spoiled because the last couple of clients I've been dealing with, for the past 4 or 5 years have have really focused on that. So I feel like are there still companies that are not focusing on that?
Yes, I have
Yep.
quite a few. Half of my
Wow,
fractional people.
I'm spoiled.
I've seen it with a couple of clients, and then I have I think I mentioned before I have a friend who got laid off in December, and I'm helping her look for a role, and she's finding that the amount of benefits on the job postings are definitely going down. It's definitely being reduced, and there's not as much of an emphasis on it when she goes to interviews.
Wow.
Yeah, agreed. I see that. Yeah.
Do you remember specifically? I'm just curious which benefits.
So one was gym reimbursement. She's looking for
Hmm.
gym reimbursement, and a lot of places aren't offering that anymore. And
Is
I'm
it because
wondering if
they
it's
are bringing people back to the office and have gyms on site or some other reason?
They're
I
just
think
getting rid of them.
they're just getting rid of
Yeah.
them.
Um,
Hmm.
like back in, when the whole IT thing was going, with Google and all those, they had crazy perks and fringe benefits. You had a chef cooking every day, you had video games and little pods and da da. Da. Now that's been taken away. It's like, people are sad because they have to come in and do their work. They can't go play ping pong all day.
Hmm.
Another thing she notices the hybrid roles are more of a 4 days in office, 1 day at home, and that's when you
One
can
day at
find
home.
them.
I've noticed that as well. It's turning into one day at ADP is now one day at home. And I think it's everybody Friday. Like they're not even giving the flexibility of you decide which day you're home. That's it.
So I would argue number four, while it's good and it sounds it's something that I would like to be a trend, I think it's going in reverse.
Hmm. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, and on the same scale, number five was a hybrid or flexible work optimization. Flexibility with meaningful collaboration. And really, like you said, hybrid is an interesting term now because hybrid is like you're in the office 3 to 4 days and only home 1 to 2. So
Remember back in
hybrid's
the
totally
day
flipped.
when we would have loved that? I used to say that all the time. I'd be like, there's 7 days in a week. I'm not being greedy. I just want 3 days at home instead of, two.
Well,
I
and
That's a good balance.
What's interesting is that there's studies and reports showing that when you focus on employee well-being and give flexible work schedules, your employees have better attendance, they have better performance, they have less medical expenses, which saves the company money on benefits. So again, it's to the detriment of the employers to be moving away from these things. So I just don't understand why.
Short-term gains.
Yeah.
Possibly. Possibly. Then the list starts becoming somewhat redundant of things we've already talked about. And I'm like, okay. So I just compiled like I love this time of year when you get the top 10 lists between music and shows and all this. And I'm like, this is so fun. And I just pulled top 10 requirements and everyone had a different set. So I just took the average. And I'm like, okay, it's kind of interesting. We'll see. Is it all true? Is it all real necessary? I don't know, it depends on each company's has their own specific needs.
Yes, yes.
Some may be doing this already and they want something else, and some may not be doing this and have no, they never plan on doing it.
Definitely.
Okay. Well, final thoughts.
Treat your employees right. Even if it's not a trend, it's still the right thing to do and it benefits you.
D- See the forest through the trees. Don't just try to save short-term money. Realize that it's,
Exactly.
sometimes it's not very easily measurable, but you are saving money in the long run.
I like to show the difference of retention versus replacement. And if you put a dollar figure on that, people go, oh, it costs that much to bring someone in versus keeping someone and train them.
I had such old data for that. Where do you get that? Do you get like new data, or because I had something from
Yeah,
like
we
10 years ago, which is not obviously doesn't fit anymore.
we can talk off call.
Okay.
We're not sharing our secrets right now, but if you want
Thought it
secrets
was like a
or
website
how we
I
do
could go to and just
process,
look.
I
Yeah,
know
what?
that was good. Actually, a good segue. If you need this, and we can actually help you do this kind of thing, we are with HR Service at hrservice.com, and we have
HRServiceinc.com. Isn't it HR Service Inc?
hrserviceinc.com. That is correct. That is true. Oh my goodness. Good job. Email solutions at hrserviceinc.com. There we go again. And if you want to find us, Nikki and Doctor and myself, we are HR Unscripted on all your pods, Apple Music, Spotify, iTunes, Amazon Casts, now on YouTube. So give us a thumbs up and a like, and we'll let you know when the next one comes out. But we just do this once a week. It comes out once a week.
Once a week. And are we shouting out to paid subscribers? If you get a paid subscription, we will say your name right here on this show.
Say
Unless you
your
don't want
name.
us
Okay.
to. It's not,
Unless
not
you don't
right.
want us to send a note.
We're not going to call you out if you don't want to.
Our producer will let us know. Just put a little note on there and she'll send us a note. Don't shout out
We
this
have
person.
discretion.
Yes. But then sometimes we don't, so we may shout you out anyway. No, we won't. All right. Well, bye, guys. We'll see you next week. I shall see y'all tomorrow, but we'll see everyone else next
Bye.
week.
Bye.
Remember, we are HR Service Unscripted, right? We're on Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon, YouTube. Give us a thumbs up and a subscribe.